Well, hey y'all. When did you get here? Hey y'all, it's me, Marty. And welcome to another video. So, in this video, I just thought it would be fun to show some different ways to camp, okay? Just to let you know, this is a lot of work. So what I'm going to do today, this morning, on this Saturday morning in July, I am setting up 10 different ways to camp, okay? A couple of them aren't real hard to set up, but a few of them take some work. And they're just 10 unique ways to camp, to enjoy the outdoors and just to camp and enjoy God's creation and just the world and the world we live in and the life we live. And yeah, and there's all different ways. You all know there's all different ways you can camp. I'm not going to show them all. I'm just going to show 10 kind of unique ones. A couple of them are pretty basic, but I mean, you know, I hope you enjoy this video. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and it's actually going to take me a few hours to do this, and then probably a couple hours to edit. And but I think it'll be fun. And yeah, this will be my 999th video. So, okay, so the first way of camping that I wanted to show you is this one right here. Just camping out in a tent. That's probably one of the first and one of the most basic and the most common, most popular ways of camping that people do. So I wanted to start with this one. So it's pretty simple. I mean, setting up the tent, blowing up the mattress, putting my sleeping bag and pillow in there, set up a little table with a camp stove and a chair. It took me about an hour. This kind of camping doesn't take long to set up. And it's pretty affordable too. So yeah, I'm going to turn the camera around and just show you a little bit more, a little closer, and just talk about it a little bit. So this is a 4-man or 4-woman, 4-person tent. It's pretty affordable. I think it was $35-40 bucks. We got it at Walmart. It's a pretty nice tent. My wife and I have used it a few times. It's a nice 4-person tent. It's big enough for a queen size mattress in there with room to spare. Okay. Now here's the thing about tents, y'all. It's a 4-person tent. That doesn't mean 4 people are going to be comfortable in there. In an emergency situation, 4 people could be in there, yes, to sleep, but not with your gear and not comfortable. I mean, if you're really close, 4 people, yeah, but it's really good for 2 people, and it's really roomy for 1 person. So yeah, basically, just keep that in mind if you're buying tents. If it's a 4-person, it's really comfortable for 2 people and really comfortable for 1. So yeah, a 4-person tent is really good for 2 people. An 8-person tent is good for 4. That just in general, that's just the way they make them. They're for an emergency situation, you could get that many people in there, but to be comfortable, no. So yeah, kind of depending on how many people you want in your tent, just you know, double it to make it comfortable. So yeah, I just have a mattress in there, and a sleeping bag and pillow, you know, and there's room in there. Well, obviously another person. I could put a sleeping bag in there for my wife, and we can. Well, there's room in here for gear and stuff. You know, you have backpacks or whatever in there. Have our dog in there. We've done that. You know, you can set up a little camp. You know, you could have a couple of chairs, you could have a little table, a camp stove, you could cook outside, you could have a campfire right here. And what we've done before too, usually when we do camp, whether it's on our property here or up north, I'll put up a tarp just for another little area of shade, maybe to have a porta potty under, or just have some of our gear to keep it dry. And a lot of times when you're camping at campgrounds, they'll have a picnic table and a fire pit and different things like that. So yeah, tent camping is fun and one of the most popular ways of camping, and it's pretty affordable. And yeah, you're on the ground. And a lot of people don't even use mattresses. And when I was younger, I didn't. But now, getting older, it's nice to have a mattress, and blow-up mattresses are pretty cheap, and you can even get the smaller ones too. But yeah, you know, blow-up mattress, sleeping bags, a tent, you know, to some chairs and some camping gear, and you can have a lot of fun tent camping. So that's the first style I wanted to show you. Camping in a tent. Oh, I'm getting tired, y'all, and I'm only on the second one. Woo! It's fun though, and I hope you enjoy this. If you enjoy this and get something out of it, it's worth it. So, my second idea for camping, car camping. And this is what a lot of people do if you want it a little bit more comfortable. And there's all different ways you can do this. This is pretty basic setup here. So this is my wife's Jeep. And I actually fit our queen mattress in there. I put a tarp down in there, I laid the seats down, and a queen mattress fits in there perfect. And I got my sleeping bag and pillow in there, and again, 2 people could fit in there comfortable. So this way, you're off the ground, you're inside, because you could close the hatch, which we probably would if it was cold or bugs or whatever. But let's say it's spring or fall and there's no bugs and it's a little cooler out, you could just sleep with this open. You could open the doors too, whatever. Also, it's a little more security. You know, some people want, you know, that, just worry about people mugging them or animals or bears like me. So you could be inside, you sleep inside. That's all you'll do in there really, but basically like the tent too. And a lot of these camping styles, you really do most of your camping outside. It's just, I'm showing you where you would sleep and then you could camp outside. So again, you could have a camp stove out here, you could have lawn chairs, you could have a campfire. And what I have here is, I believe this is an 8 by 8, or is it a 10 by 10? It's just a canopy. There's no sides on it, no screens or anything. And it's just covered. It gives you some shade and some protection from the wind or snow or whatever. Bird poop, you know, coming down on you. And just a little protection. So you have a big camping area here. And you could do this at campgrounds or just out in the wild or wherever. You know, all this stuff can be in your car and, you know, just pull it out and camp. So the first one, the tent camping, that's a bigger tent and you have the lawn chairs and different things. That's not really backpacking kind of camping. I have a couple of those coming up too. You'd have your car to bring your tent and all that stuff to set up also in that one. And this one, you know, you'd have your car and you could actually use your car to camp. You could sleep in there. So yeah, you can set up stuff here. I'm going to turn the camera around, show you a little bit more. So yeah, it's just a canopy. I don't know how much this was. It might have been 50 bucks or whatever. I got it years ago for doing craft shows. But yeah, there's my wife's Jeep, and you just open the hatchback and put that over it. You know, and again, queen mattress fits in there perfect. I mean, look at that. And it's actually elevated because of the other seats on the back side where your heads are, which is good for sleeping. We like to have our heads elevated a little bit. But it's perfect. You can sleep inside. You can close the door if you want, or you can leave it open. You know, and just have a camp out here. You got a lot of space under this. I think this is an 8 by 8. They have all different sizes, 8 by 8, 10 by 10, 12 by 12. And you could also get a screened-in tent. I think it'd be fun to get one of those sometime, because then you could camp, you know, and the bugs won't get you, and it's all screened, so you'd have a breeze going through. So that would be fun to try sometime too. But yeah, there's a lot of varieties and different ways you could do this with different vehicles. You could do it with a car, you could do it with a bigger SUV or even pickup or whatever. And a lot of people do this, and there's all different variations and different kinds of equipment you can have with you. And but yeah, I was going to ask my wife if she wants to do this sometime, you know, car camping, you know. And again, you can have a tent out here too, and you can have hammocks, and you can have different things and stuff, and all different kinds of ways you can car camp. Oh. Woof. Okay. Camping style number 3. Pickup tent camping. So here's the thing, y'all. As far as camping in a pickup, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I grew up camping with my dad, camping in a pickup camper. He had a pickup camper on the bed of the truck, and it had, well, it actually had 3 bunks in there. There was one bunk over the cab, one was the kitchen table, breaks down into a bed, and then another skinny short bunk above the table. And it had a full kitchen, bathroom, closet, and all this stuff. That's one way. You can also have a topper on your pickup, and you can make a little camper setup in there. And I did that. I've done videos on that. That's pretty tight and it's small, but it's good for one person. I took that all apart just because I didn't think I'd use it much, but it made for a good video and a couple of good campouts. Or you could just camp in the bed of the pickup, put a sleeping bag in there and camp. You know, the funny thing is, the neat thing, you can have your tailgate up and nobody will even know you're in there. Like a little stealth camping thing. Or you could have a flat canvas or plastic cover on your truck, so it's up right about there, and you can camp in that way. Now that's really tight. If you're claustrophobic, I wouldn't suggest that. I did that once too. That was kind of fun. Or you can do this. Now my wife and I actually camped like this last was it our anniversary last year? Not this past year, May, but the May before. I think we did. I think we camped in this. And what I did was I made an elevated platform in the pickup so that it's above the wheel wells, and then put our tent in there. And the cool thing about this, well, I'm going to turn the camera around. So the cool thing about this is this, I mean, this doesn't work for every tent, but this 4-person tent fits perfectly in my pickup. And this is a GMC Sierra, and I think it's a 6-foot bed. So this 4-person tent fits perfect in here. And I had built a temporary platform last year and put the tent in here, and it works so nice. Yesterday I built a permanent one in here. I could take it out, but it's more permanent. And the reason I did that is so that we can put the tent in here and tent camp in the pickup. And I'm actually going to make drawers and put under there to store camping gear and just my jack and jumper cables and stuff for the pickup and all that. And then, you know, I could still haul stuff in here. Yeah, I have the platform, it's a little higher, but I could still haul stuff on my pickup, and we could set up the tent really easy. I actually I had the setup over there in the yard for the first one I did. I just carried the tent over here and put it in. So a 4-person tent fits perfect in the back of a pickup. And the queen mattress fits perfect in there. It's so cool. And yeah, it's just another neat way to camp. And again, you can have your camp set up outside of the pickup, and you'll sleep in there. Another neat thing about this too is you have the tailgate, so you could actually cook on there. You could do stuff on there. So we did this when we were on the North Shore last year, and I really liked it because we're off the ground. You know, it's harder for bugs, snakes, critters to get us. And I actually tied it out. I don't have everything set up in all these demonstrations. I just doing the basic stuff. But I would tie it out so it's the roof and everything is higher and everything's out a little bit. And there's a rain fly for it too. If you don't have the rain fly on it, it's kind of nice because you can get a breeze through and you can see the stars. So yeah, that's another way to do it. You know, and they actually make pickup tents that are made for the tent. They're all expensive, but this works. Again, it's a $35, $40 4-person tent. It fits perfect in the back of a pickup. And I had to make the elevated platform because otherwise this wouldn't fit between the wheel wells. Now, if you have a smaller tent, a 1- or 2-person tent, that would fit between the wheel wells, and it'll be lower in there. And I actually also elevated it, the platform. It's elevated in the back, again, because my wife and I, we like our heads a little higher. It's better sleeping. And, you know, acid reflux stuff, you know, it's better to have your head elevated. Anyway, getting old. And when I'm not using this for camping, yeah, it's wood in there. Eventually it's going to rot or whatever. It's just plywood or whatever, but it's good for now. I might put the cover back on. I had a flat cover on there, but for now, and that's the other thing, to have the platform angled, then rain will just run off and it'll dry out quicker. And yeah, but yeah, again, you can just have your camp set up out here. You can have campfire and do everything outside of it, but you can sleep in there. And when we had our setup last year, we had a tarp set up, and we had a picnic table. We cooked outside. We had campfire, and it was really fun. And it's easy to set up and easy to take down. So yeah, number 3 unique camping idea: pickup tent camping. Okay, camping setup number 4. I'm tired. It's like setting up camp 10 times. And I'm not even going to camp. Actually, we'll see. I might camp in one of these tonight. If it cools off enough. We'll see. Anyway, number 4, right? Yeah, the first one was tent, car camping, pickup tent camp, and this one. Yeah, number 4, the hiker tent. Now, this is a really small tent. And actually, as I go along here, most of these are going to get smaller and smaller, pretty much, and simpler. But they're all unique and different and kind of fun. Actually, the last one's really weird, but so stay tuned. Anyway, number 4, the hiker tent. And so I got this tent. I think this is a $30, $40 tent. I got it like for pennies. I don't remember, $5, $10 or something, at like a thrift store. And it's basically a one-person tent, and it's so small you can have it in a backpack. Now it folds up about this big. It does have a couple of tent poles. There's one there and one here, 2 longer ones, and then, well, these are only 3 foot long, and the one in the back is only 2 foot. So they fold down. They can actually go in a backpack with the tent. Now you could set this up without the poles and have this line tied up to a tree. You could actually put a little trekking pole in here too. There's different ways you could do it without having those poles. But it's pretty basic. It's basically, I mean, 2 people could squeeze in here in an emergency, but it's basically for one person. And even for one person, there's not a lot of room. But I got in there, and it's really neat. I made a video on this one before. And there's actually room for your gear in there. I could have my backpack and other stuff in there and still be comfortable. There's a vent in the back. You know, I've heard good and bad reviews on this one. It's this Bass Pro Shops hiker tent, but you know, for the price, it's pretty cheap. I got it really cheap, but even full price is really cheap for a tent. And you could put it in your backpack. So yeah, I got a pad in here. I actually bought a pad, a blow-up pad. I've never had one, and I got one. It was pretty cheap, but so I have a pad in there with a sleeping bag, a pillow, and yeah, just some of my gear out here just to kind of show you. But yeah, you wouldn't have a lot of room in here, but for a low profile kind of stealth camping or backpack camping, it works great. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. So yeah, it's pretty small. I believe, I don't remember the dimensions now. It's like, I don't know, 4 feet across the front and maybe 2 or 3 feet across the back. Really simple. I set this up in about 10 minutes. It's really small, but kind of a neat, low profile, stealthy kind of camping. And for the price and the room, it's actually pretty nice. I mean, it's pretty comfortable in there. I mean, 2 people could sleep in there. One person, it's actually very comfortable. I'm kind of claustrophobic, and I'm not claustrophobic in here because there is enough room. Kind of a neat way to camp, especially if you're backpacking. There's a spider hanging from my phone. But yeah, I have my backpack and just some of my gear there, and just kind of show you how you can have a little camp out here. And there's all different ones out there. There's more expensive ones and better ones too. Whoa. Anyway, and this is kind of like a military, what do you call it? Bivy bag, where it's basically a shelter and a sleeping bag all together. Not much else. I mean, it's pretty small, but it's lightweight and it's small, and you can take it anywhere. So it is kind of a neat thing to do. So you call this a backpacking tent, hiker tent, kind of a bivy bag like the military ones. But yeah, you can get, they're all different price ranges, and I wasn't looking for one, and I just found this at a thrift store, and it was really cheap, so I got it. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, this is comfy. Okay, so this is what, is this number 5? Let's see, the tent was first. I'm bad at math, y'all. Tent was first, then car camping, then pickup tent camping, then the hiker tent. This is number 5. We're halfway through this goofy video. Number 5, hammock camping. Spoiler alert. Well, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you my favorite for my wife and I, and my favorite by myself. I'm just saying, I love the hammock, but we'll see at the end. Oh, this is comfy. So, there's just something about a hammock that is so comfortable. My wife got me a hammock years ago, and it was, oh gosh, I'm thinking it might have been about 10 years ago. And it was one of those, actually, let's back up a second. I think she got me, no, yeah, about 10 years, I told you I'm bad at math. Need my feeties. I have ugly feet. Anyway, about 10 years ago, she got me a hammock, and it was the rope style. And I put it up between a couple of trees. We were renting a place by a lake at that time, and it was so nice. It was so comfortable. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never been in a hammock. This is so nice. It's so comfortable. And it's actually like weightless. Basically, it just feels like you're floating, and it's a lot like swimming. I mean, I think it's a really good thing for your body. And people think, oh, you're going to sleep in a hammock, you're going to lay in a hammock, you're like a banana. Well, not really. It's very comfortable. And yeah, she got me the first one. I really enjoyed it. And then I left it out all year long, even in the winter. And then it started to fray and it fell apart. And I think I fell through it. And but yeah, then she got me a chair hammock that was also rope, I believe. And she got that from Nicaragua when she went to Nicaragua and brought that back for me. Oh man, I really liked that one. That one wore out too. But then we started getting other hammocks, and just nylon hammocks. Now this is one I got a while ago. It's a little bit nicer. They're all, I mean, you can spend 50, 100, 200 bucks for a hammock, or you can go to Walmart and get one for 30 bucks. Seriously, you can get a single one for like one person. They're like 20, 25, and I think it's like 30 or 35 for a two-person, like a double. Honestly, the doubles aren't really for two people, just like the tents. It says two, but you're not going to put two people in a hammock. It's just not comfy. I mean, I love my wife. I love being close to her, but in a hammock, it's just, yeah, we haven't tried it. Maybe we should try it. I don't know. But two people in a hammock, it's not that. The point is, it's just a bigger hammock, and it's really more comfortable for one person. Now, we have a couple of one-person hammocks, and we have some 2 or 3 two-person hammocks. And this is a two-person. There's just more room. It's roomier. And the trick to getting comfy in a hammock, you can lay straight like this. Of course, the camera isn't showing me straight, but I'm straight in the hammock. But the trick, and I learned this from watching other videos, and I think it was Shug. If you lay at an angle, so move your feet over to the left and your head over to the right, now you're pretty much flat. You're almost completely flat, and it's very good sleeping. You don't even need a blanket or sleeping bag or pillow or anything. I mean, when it's nice weather. But you know, it's just very comfortable. They're just, you know, and I've slept in a hammock a couple of times, and I really enjoy it. And I want to start, well, in general, I want to start camping more, my wife and I, and doing it in the spring and the fall when there's no bugs and it's a little cooler. And I would love to sleep. I've slept outside in a hammock in our yard a couple times, and to sleep in the open air when it's cooler and you can see the stars and no bugs. Oh yeah, that's like the best. But yeah, you know, and people even do it in the colder months, you know, and they have these under quilts that go under you. Because if you put a sleeping pad in here, you're really squishing it, and then you lose the R value, the insulation factor. So they make these under quilts that wrap around the bottom of the hammock, and then they have over quilts that are basically, or top quilt. It's basically a sleeping bag without a zipper, because it's really hard to be in a sleeping bag and then get in and out of it in the hammock. It's really hard to get out of the hammock to do your business in the middle of the night, if you know what I mean. Well, we gotta do our business. I do my business a lot. Anywho, you know, and you know, you could have, you don't even really need a pillow in here, but they make small pillows, or you could have a big one. The point of this, though, this type of camping, this is another backpacking kind. So I have my backpack, I put it on the tree there, and I'm going to turn the camera around and show you this, but I have a tarp set up, and I have a hammock under it, and this is a backpacking, you know, kind of lightweight type of camping. and all your gear can be in your backpack. So you don't want to take big pillows or big sleeping bags, you know. But I just love this. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you from the outside. So if you hear cars in the background, that is, I believe, the Grove City Raceway just north of our house. And there's like drag racing today. So this is my hammock camping setup. And I really love this because this is a new tarp. I got this at a camping store. And again, it wasn't really, I'm thrifty in budget. I don't spend a lot of money for things. I don't have a lot of money for things. I think it was 25 bucks or 30 bucks. But it's like a 10 by 10 tarp, and it's really lightweight, and it's perfect for hammock camping. You want a bigger tarp so it covers your hammock completely. Now I have a small military surplus tarp that I really like. My wife got me. It's a little small for the hammock though, but I am going to use that in another video too. But this is how I set it up. So I just put a ridge line up between two trees. And then I put the tarp up, and I just staked it out in 4 places. And a lot of this I've just learned by watching other people's videos. I don't know much. I'm always learning. I love to teach, but I love to learn too, and I'll never stop learning. So I just have this tarp up, and you can pull it tighter, and you can do the tarp in different ways depending on the weather. And, you know, you might not even need a tarp if it's not going to rain or snow or anything. And you want to just be in the open air, you can just have the hammock up. So then I use tree straps. A lot of people use all these fancy gear for putting up your hammocks, but the tree straps are really cheap and they're really strong and they're good for the tree, and they're simple. They got different loops and you just put it through. They have carabiners, and there's already rope, because this is considered a gathered end hammock. They just have rope down here. It's kind of pulled together at the ends. That's what most of them are. That's what all of them are that we have. And yeah, so it's just hanging there. I put a sleeping bag in there just to show you. Most of the time I lay in a hammock without anything, no sleeping bag or pad or pillow or anything, and it's so comfortable. And yeah, and it's got my little summer backpack that I really like. Got it hanging on the tree, kind of fun, because then it's off the ground and you can grab stuff and open it, and a little bit of gear on the ground. But yeah, and there's all different ways you can set up a hammock with a tarp, and there's different configurations and different things. But see, I could sleep in here. I could lay in this hammock, and if it was raining, I wouldn't get wet. And if the sun was really bright and really hot, you know, this kind of gives you a little shade, but you still get a cool breeze through here. So yeah. This is really a cool tarp. I've been wanting to get a bigger one, and this is perfect, and it's really tiny, and it actually folds up. And this tarp, this hammock, all the, you know, the paracord and stakes and everything fits easily in my pack. So you can go backpacking and do this kind of setup. Yeah, I'm just faking, but I actually need a nap. This is tiring, but it's fun. I think I'm actually going to take a nap in the hammock when I'm all done here. Okay, camping idea number 6. I guess you could call this cowboy camping, or just camping under the stars. Just camping under a tarp. The next few videos are going to be about tarps. And I mean, the hammock one I use a tarp. This one is just a tarp. So I just have a sleeping pad here and a sleeping bag. I'm using my backpack as a pillow, because if you're hiking or backpacking, you wouldn't have a big pillow or any other stuff like that. I do have a small, it's kind of a scrap piece of a military surplus canvas tent, and I kind of like it for a little ground cloth, so you could have a little area here where it's off the grass and you can camp and have your stuff over here or whatever. A really low-key kind of camping, but really fun too. I'll turn the camera around and show you. So there it is, number 6, right? Did I say 6? Yeah, number 6. Just camping under a tarp. I still have that one up over there. Actually, I have a lot of the ones sitting around the yard. I got to clean up everything when I'm all done. Anyway, yeah, just camping under a tarp. So this tarp here this one means a lot to me because my wife got it for me at a military surplus store in Pueblo, Colorado. And I believe it's not real big. I believe it's a 6x7 or 6x8 or 7x8, something like that. It's not very big, but it works perfect for this. It's kind of a vinyl or nylon or whatever. It's military surplus, kind of that pixelated camo, but it looks really cool. It does have a few little pinholes in it and stuff and a little rip, but works really good for this. And this is just a lean-to. I just put a paracord ridge line up, and the way I do this is I just make prusik knots. I learned how to do that, and it's really kind of fun. And then you just use a toggle, and the prusik knot is really neat. So it works best to have paracord and then use the prusik knots with bank line, because it has to be a thinner diameter for the prusik knot to work. And the way it works is it's tight. All you do is grab it, and you can slide it to loosen it. But then you just pull it tight, and at an angle, it's tight. It won't slide. And it's just really cool how those prusik knots work. And yeah, so it's just a ridge line with a small hammock in a lean-to fashion, and it just almost tripped over my paracord for the other setup here. But yeah, it just gives you a little bit of shade, a little bit of blockage from the wind or rain or snow or whatever. People do this in the snow in the wintertime too. And you could pull this down, you could close it in, you could do different things. There's all different kinds of tarp shelter camping setups. This is just one pretty simple one. It's a lean-to shelter here with the, just have another little tarp here, a little piece of canvas and sleeping bag and a sleeping pad and my backpacking gear. And so yeah, this is something you could just set up pretty easy and just kind of a fun one. Okay. Number 7. And I'm not really sure what to call this. It's another tarp shelter camping idea. It's kind of a plow point shelter, where you take a tarp and you tie just one paracord there up to a tree real tight, and then you stake it out. And it's kind of a point. It's kind of called a plow point. This is a little different though. This is wider than it is deeper. A plow point, usually you put your sleeping bag in this way. The way I set this up, my sleeping bag fits in sideways, because I want to use a different tarp for every video, or for every part of this video, for every setup. And so this is actually a military surplus half tent. So I guess soldiers would each have one of these in their pack, and it's a half a tent. And alone, just by itself, it's good for one person, but you put the two halves together and it makes a pretty big tent. And then you put a post or something in the middle of it, and it's a pretty big teepee type tent. If you put the two military surplus or military tent halves together, then 2 soldiers can sleep in there. And I don't know what this was, $5 or whatever. It's military surplus. It's like brand new, really. I don't think it's ever been used. But I haven't used it for anything yet, and I thought I'd use it for this video for one of the setups. So I guess I'm just going to call it a tent half. But I'm comfortable in here. I could pull the paracord up higher so I have more headroom here. But it's a pretty good shelter. I mean, gosh, there's room here. I got my pack and other things here. There's a whole bunch of room down at the end and in this corner. So, and right here. I mean, gosh, you could have a little fire. And that's what's neat about a lot of these camping ideas, but a lot of the tarp ones especially. You could have a little campfire out here, right in front of where you're sleeping or camping or whatever. Or you can even have it under the tarp to a point, because it's not totally enclosed. And yeah, so kind of a neat one. So I'll turn the camera around and show you. Oh gosh, getting old, Joe. Yeah, okay. take the phone off the tripod. The tripod over there. Put the phone on my handheld tripod. I just show you what I got to do in between scenes here. So yeah, I want to call this the military surplus tent half shelter camping idea. So yeah, it's kind of a weird shape. It is a half a tent. I thought it was a triangle, but it's not quite a triangle. And there's all kinds of snaps and grommets around it. But yeah, this is a U.S. Army tent half. And, you know, another backpacking, hiking type of camping idea. Very small, very lightweight, and, you know, you got yourself a neat little shelter, a little sleeping area, and a nice little place to camp. And again, it's just the tarp, about a 5-foot piece of paracord, and I got 4 tent stakes. That's it for this little setup here. And then I got my sleeping bag and the sleeping pad and my backpack and stuff, and so that's kind of a neat one too. Okay. Hey y'all. Okay, welcome to number 8 camping setup here. So I'm calling this teepee tarp shelter camping setup. Well, that's a mouthful. So obviously there's different ways you could have a teepee. So you could, I mean, there's teepee tents, and there's actually tarps that are made to be teepee tents. This is actually, so again, I'm trying to use different stuff for each camp setup. This is just an 8x10 Walmart poly tarp. And it was a little tricky setting it up because I've never done before. I wasn't really sure. So yeah, I just kind of staked out a couple, and I have actually 2 trekking poles in here. So if you had a square tarp, you could just use 1 trekking pole in the middle, or you could actually make an A-frame or a tripod out of you know, branches, sticks, and then have nothing inside. You know, you wouldn't have a trekking pole, you wouldn't have a stick. It would be on the outside of the tent, and or you could actually have a paracord on top of the tent pulled up to a tree branch. So you could do it, because you know, you have trekking poles in here, they kind of get in the way. It's not a big deal, but I just did it this way because it worked. So it's not totally a teepee, but that's the closest thing I think I would call it, as a teepee. And this thing is huge inside. Ugh. I mean, I could actually have it higher, but there's a lot of headroom in here. And 2 people could sleep in here comfortably. 4 people in an emergency. And again, this could be staked out more. Another thing you could do, what most people would do, is if you wanted to have it closed in, take this trekking pole down, and then you can pull this down all the way and close it in. It'd be a fully enclosed tent. So yeah, right now it's you know, on 3 sides. Well, roof and 2 sides and a back. I don't know, 3, 4. Again, I'm bad at math. And a lot of these tarp ones, I would put a, you know, a ground cloth or ground sheath or another tarp down on the ground, because I just don't like to be on the grass and twigs and rocks and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I'm calling this a teepee tarp shelter camp thing. So I'll show you that from the outside. Crawl out of here. Actually, a lot of room in this one. I'm exhausted, y'all. So I started making this video about 4 hours ago, and it's easily gonna take a couple hours to clean it all up. But it's fun. And the next 2 are already set up. Good night. Okay, there you are. Number 8 campsite. Unique little style setup here. It's not totally a teepee, but I'm calling it a teepee tarp shelter camp setup. So I just staked it out again. I put one trekking pole in there, and then I put another one for the door, and then I put guy lines out to pull it to hold it all up. And I just have it open in the front. But again, you could close this end, so it's kind of like doors. But yeah, I got my sleeping bag and pad in there, and backpack and stuff, and I got a lot of room. This is really roomy for one person, and actually pretty roomy for 2 people. And again, yeah, an emergency 3, 4, 5 people could fit in there. Just an 8x10 tarp. So yeah, number 8, the teepee tarp shelter camping thing. I'm getting tired. On to the next one. Okay, number 9, my bushcraft shelter. So down in the corner of our property, we have a 2-acre hobby farm, and a couple of years ago I set up a little bushcraft area over here. So just kind of a place, a quiet spot on the corner of our property, to just have some bushcraft stuff and learn bushcraft skills. And so over here I have my dad's military cot. This is an army cot, and this is, gosh, he had it all over. I don't know, Philippines, Japan, Korea, Vietnam. He was all over with this cot when he was in the army. And so it's kind of neat to have this. I eventually want to build an elevated bed in here out of logs and branches. But I have this cot and I haven't been using it, and so I thought might as well use it for in here. So I have it in here, and yeah, so I have a tripod over the fire. I have a small fire pit here, so we have a bigger fire pit up front. We have like 3 on our property. We like our campfires. I have another little one down in the corner where we set up the tent sometime. But I have a little fire pit here with a tripod on where you can put a pot or whatever on top of it. I got firewood here. I got another tripod here. Tripods are neat for holding things, and got a couple logs here for little tables and benches and a place to sit and split wood. And I just put this tarp. So this is a pretty heavy duty tarp. I think this is a 10x10. It's just a poly tarp. It wasn't expensive, but I hung this one up a few weeks ago and it's still up. I need to secure it a little bit better and get it a little tighter and pull it. It was really windy the day I did it. If you remember, I did a video putting this up and everything. But yeah, you know, I have a cot here so I can sleep here. Now I want to use this, I think this fall when it cools off, and actually all of these camping setups I wouldn't use in the summer. I mean, the tent one, if my wife and I were going to tent. Hammocks, you can use bug nets, but you got to use a bug net. It's too hot, and I don't like summer. So I wouldn't do most of these or any of these really in the summer. But I'm thinking this fall it'd be fun to camp here, you know, and and to sleep here, have a campfire and food and stuff. So yeah, this is just another camping setup. I know everybody doesn't have property or a way to set up a little permanent little bushcraft camping site like this, but it's another idea. It's another way you can camp. And yeah, I'm getting tired, so it's nice that the last couple are already set up. But yeah, this is kind of a neat little area here, and I'm actually looking to the north east, looking over soybean fields right now, and then there's woods in the distance, and actually soybeans to the north, there's corn to the south, and more woods, and we have the lake across the road. So yeah, you don't have to be in the wilderness. You don't have to be totally out. You don't have to be at a campground or state park. Those are nice, but you know, if you have a little room, if you have some property, you can do it in your yard. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you a little bit more. So yeah, just a little setup here. So this is on the northeast corner of our property. Oh, that's right, I got my trail cam set up there, and I put a whole bunch of food and stuff out. I'll have to see if I got anything on video. I've had it out for a couple nights. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, it's nothing fancy, but just kind of a little neat little setup here. Yeah, I got to work on the tarp, make it a little tighter. This is from about a month ago. I'm surprised it's all still up, so that's good. And yes, I do have my tree house too. That could be another camping setup. That's a work in progress. I started a couple of years ago. More of just a place for my wife and I to hang out in and have fun. You know, either another way to camp, but even just to sit in there and watch wildlife from the windows. But yeah, that'll be another video. Finish that. But yeah, so my little bushcraft area here, which is actually a bushcraft area and a tree house, but another way to camp. Yeah, these are just all the ideas. And that, of course, there's all different better ideas probably, and all different ways you could do it. And not everybody can do all these, but they're just some ideas, and it's just kind of fun. Think outside the box. Different ways you can camp, different ways you can do all your different hobbies and different things you enjoy doing. And yeah. Okay, on to the last one, number 10. Okay, number 10. Camping in a big rig. I know. Is it really camping? Well, not really. And who can really camp in a big rig? Only if you're a truck driver. So, I'm not going to really show you around too much because I need to organize a little bit. I mean, it's not too messy, but well, I can show you a little bit. But anyway, basically, this is my truck. I'm a truck driver, and I work on the road for a week or two at a time, and then I'm home like for a week. And the reason I wanted to include this one and have this as number 10 is kind of a memory of my dad. So my dad passed away about 8 years ago now, and when he was alive, he actually went trucking with me a few times. He went on a few trips with me, and it was kind of fun having him in the passenger seat. And you know, I mean, I took my wife and my kids trucking, and when you have a rider go with you, you have a lot of time to talk, and it's just kind of fun. It's a neat experience for them too, I think, and it was really neat for my dad. I think he enjoyed it, and we'd have devotions together in the morning, and you know, start the day, and he would look at my atlas and stuff, and just look at the route that we were taking, where we were going, and he was interested in where and when we were delivering and what we were hauling and stuff, and kind of fun. And then just, you know, eating out in truck stops and eating in the truck and watching TV and just playing games and stuff when we had downtime. And he, I still remember, he said, "This is a lot like camping." He really thought it was like camping because he did a lot of camping and fishing and ice fishing and stuff. And he had a fish house, he had a pickup camper, he had a pop-up camper and a boat and different things. And to him, this was like camping, you know, riding along with me. And in a way it is, you know. I mean, this is work. I mean, it's not too fun. I mean, I try to make it, you know, fun and make the best of it on the road. And when I have downtime, you know, just doing some hobbies, go for a hike or carve spoons or play my mandolin and do what I can, make videos to help you guys smile and stuff. But I'd still rather be home. It's work. It's a lot of work. You know, in the truck here, you know, it's my bedroom, it's my living room, it's my dining room, it's my bathroom, it's my hobby room. You know, I mean, it's everything in here. And but yeah, I just still remember my dad saying it's like camping, and in a way it is, you know. And I try to keep it organized in here and kind of cozy and comfortable. You know, it's not home, but I'm in here a lot. I work on the road a lot, and it's just nice to have it comfortable. So here, I'll show you around just a little bit here. I've done videos before showing the inside of my truck, and again, I need to do some organizing and stuff, and some of the stuff's in the house, and I'm rearranging and stuff too, but I'll show you a little bit here. So I actually started the truck So I actually started the truck for just a few minutes to cool it down in here, and it hasn't been running for a week anyway, so I thought I'd run it for a little bit. But this is the front. That's where I drive. That's the passenger seat, and I have a box there with all my stuff in it, my clipboard and my logbook and just my devotionals and my Bible I usually have in there, and snacks and just different things, paper towels and stuff. And then I have my spoon carving stuff up there. I got to get some water. I usually have a couple of cases of water up front. Then I have a bin there of water and green tea and ginger ale and stuff, and a place for my coffee and stuff. And then I have a Bluetooth speaker, and then I have a tablet where I have my e-log on, all that kind of stuff. And I have a clipboard there. I usually have a notepad on there to just take notes when I'm driving of just different ideas and things I want to do at home and different things. You know, and yet, you know, there's lots of cabinets and stuff here for storage and stuff. And then the back. So I like to have a rug down and keep it pretty clean back here. So I have a bunk, a couple of pillows, sleeping bag. And then over here I have my TV, a little flat screen TV, a DVD player, a whole bunch of movies, books. I have some jeans. Then I have a refrigerator down here, and the door is broken. I need to get a new refrigerator. And then I have a couple bins here. One is bathroom stuff, you know, toiletry kind of stuff. And then one is kitchen stuff for cooking and making coffee and stuff. And then I have a microwave, notes on there from my wife. More cabinets, you know, for storage. And there's an upper bunk. If I had a rider, that, you know, whoever it was would sleep up there. But I have a lot of stuff stored up there right now. But yeah. And I have another cabinet right here. I have clothes in there. And then I have a little table that comes out here, and that's what I eat on. And but yeah, you know, camping in a big rig, number 10. I was gonna wait till it stopped rocking before we started talking, but it might be a while. Oh, well, there you have it, y'all. 10 fun, unique, different ways of camping. I know a few of them were kind of silly, but I don't know. I just thought it would be fun to see how many different ways I could set up a way to camp. And yeah, just to share with y'all. It is noon. I started at 7 a.m. 5 hours it took me to set up all these and make the video all of them. I'm going to take a break now and actually take a nap. I feel like a little nap in the hammock. And it's nice under here with the tarp. There's a nice breeze blowing through here. I'm in the shade. And then I'll put everything away. It's going to take me about 2 hours to put everything away. And then probably an hour or more to edit the video. Then I'll get it up for y'all. So what, about 8 hours for this video? Yeah, videos take time, you know. It's a lot of work. I enjoy it. Again, it's kind of an outlet for teaching for me, and I just like to share my life, whatever it is. That's why it's such a modest podge on my channel. But it's a lot of work, and I don't get paid for it, and I do it just to help y'all smile, but not a lot of people watch my videos on my channel. I'm thankful for those who do, but you know, I know a few people that if they don't get thousands of views, they delete their videos. And I might get 5 or 10, 20 views on mine, you know, but I'm not going to delete videos. I'm going to keep them all. I'm almost to 1,000. I got one more to do. And then we'll see. I might call it quits for making videos. I'm not going to shut down my channel, but I'm thinking about just, yeah, I think 1,000 might be enough. But we'll see. If I do, it'll probably just be not as often, but just kind of need a break because it is a lot of work, and I work 70 hours a week, and I have family and other responsibilities, and it takes a lot of time. I do enjoy it, but yeah, I might be ready for a new season. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This was actually fun because it was a lot of work, but it was fun to see if I could set these up. Some of these I've never set up. I just knew you could do them. And made up a couple really, and a couple of them weren't really camping, I don't know. But, you know, it's kind of fun. And so, what's my favorite? Okay, so when I'm camping with my wife, Well, again, I don't even like to camp in the summertime, honestly. So spring or fall or even winter. I think the tent in the pickup. I like that because it's comfortable and it's off the ground and it's easy to set up. It'd be fun if we could hammock camp together. You know, we had 2 hammocks set up and a little camp set up like this. That would be fun if there were no bugs and it was cooler. I think it would be fun to try that too. By myself, definitely this setup right here. And so if you could see over on our deck by the house, I have tents and tarps and gear all over the place. I got to fold up everything, put everything away. But I left this one up. I took all the rest down, but I left this one up. Of course, my big rig, my truck is there. My bushcraft area is still set up. But I tore everything else down, and I left this one up. And yeah, this feels so good. Oh, laying in a hammock, y'all. I don't know. Life's better in a hammock. It truly is. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. I'm sure it's an hour or more long. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you like my channel. Comment. Please comment. Let me know your thoughts on different things. And yeah, please go watch my other videos. Whether I keep doing videos or not, I got 1,000 videos, y'all. I mean, go watch them. There's so many. I think they're good. I like to watch my videos, you know, and I got tons and tons of all different things. So they're always there, you know, and so you can watch them. So yeah. So I am going to take a nap. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.